From downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 11 starts now.
What did they know and when did they know it? Tonight we get a look at the answers Michigan State University provided to Congress when asked about Larry Nassar and the complaints against him.
Another Detroit police officer dies in the line of duty. Whose love of the job had already made him an internet sensation. 25 years old and already hailed as one of the best and brightest in the department, Officer Darren Weathers was on a training exercise this morning when there was a terrible accident. And now a department already in mourning has another funeral to plan. This as two other officers were shot in the line of duty in the last week. Mara McDonald live tonight at Detroit Police Headquarters. Mara, we already knew Officer Weathers for his random acts of kindness on the street.
We sure did, Devin. We met him last year. We featured him on Local 4 because of those acts of kindness, which made him an internet sensation. At 25, he was already a combat veteran and a father to a little girl, a product of Detroit's East Side. Of course, Officer Darren Weathers stopped while on patrol to talk to the neighborhood kids.
Growing up in Detroit, I know how tough it is, and I know how it could be on the streets.
He saw them playing basketball and asked if he could shoot hoops with them. The kids couldn't believe it when he got out of his squad. Of course, everybody wanted to be on his team, so he decided they'd all be one big team and had them work on their push-ups and then asked who wanted to race. The kids were in awe. The video went everywhere, but it wasn't all sweet moments like this. Darren, only a year and a half on the job, had already saved the life of a fellow officer, Waldus Johnson. The two were on a domestic violence run last spring when a man started shooting at them, hitting Johnson in the face. It was Weathers who returned fire and dragged his partner with his bare hands out of there. So it was no surprise that he'd been chosen for the department's integrity unit. He was on a training run this morning when his car was hit. He would not survive.
So it's with a heavy heart I'm gathered here today to report to you the loss of another Detroit police officer.
The second time in a month the chief has had to stand at a hospital and deliver those words. Watching officers escort his body from Henry Ford tonight, such a stark contrast to the handsome young police officer with the kind smile who gave these children a lasting memory.
Some kids may not have good male role models in their family, so if I can reach out in any type of way, then I feel like I won.
Back here live, DPOA President Mark Diaz putting it succinctly like this tonight. Our hearts are just broken. We're live at Detroit Police Headquarters. I'm Mara McDonald, Local 4.
Indeed, Mara. Okay. Michigan State faculty members say they have no confidence in the school's Board of Trustees in the wake of the Larry Nassar sex abuse scandal.
Faculty Senate overwhelmingly backing a no confidence vote this afternoon. They have been outraged with the board's handling of the Nassar investigation and with the recent hiring of former Michigan Governor John Engler as interim president. Students also spoke out before the vote.
John Engler, irregardless of his politics and of his history and of his platform, is not an educator, and he is not qualified on that alone to lead this institution. And I believe that a lot of the people I've talked to that may not be Republicans would say the same thing if we had asked former Governor Granholm to come back as well.
Meanwhile, the university's answers to Congress about the Nassar investigation went public today.
Jermont Terry has a look at how the school responded to a Senate subcommittee.
MSU and its answers to the congressional panel insisting the university responded and moved swiftly the moment it learned of the 2016 Nassar complaints. But we also learned that the university and the U.S. Gymnastics never discussed directly the complaints they received about Nassar. Disgraced and former Michigan State doctor Larry Nassar is currently serving multiple prison sentences for molesting young girls, mostly athletes. After the many victims came forward and spoke about their sexual violations, acts Nassar committed disguised as treatment, many wanted to know how this could go unreported for so long. And Congress is among those demanding MSU explain exactly when it became aware of sexual misconduct. The university said it first received a patient complaint about Nassar on April 21, 2014 from an adult woman. That was 2 years before he was fired, but an investigation revealed there was no violation of MSU's sexual harassment policy. Even the DA did not file charges. But MSU did not inform third parties like the U.S. Gymnastics or the U.S. Olympic Committee. MSU tells the panel it wasn't until 2016, 2 years after their original complaint, that they received a second complaint from a patient. MSU did another investigation, but this time fired Nasser. Of course, this was well after news was already circulating about the allegations. And yes, Nasser's connection with the U.S. gymnastics and the Olympics. MSU insisting there's no indication any MSU employee understood any time before September 2016 that Nasser engaged in sexual misconduct. The university says it received 74 complaints to date. 36 were closed due to victims' lack of participation. But it currently has 29 open complaints that all came in 2018 alone. MSU is facing many lawsuits from those victims, and there's no doubt the responses were legally crafted. And while they answered some of the congressional panel's questions, those on that panel are not completely satisfied with all the responses that they received. Reporting in Detroit, Jermont Terry, Local 4.
Hey, Jermont. A 27-year-old Port Huron Township man is behind bars tonight after police say they found hundreds of images of child porn in his home. Nicholas Belkowitz is also accused of sexually abusing children between the ages of 4 months and 11 years old. He's charged with multiple counts of child porn as well as multiple counts of criminal sexual conduct with a child under the age of 13.
You think after 28 years or nearly 28 years in law enforcement, you're not going to see a case that's going to shock you. This is a very shocking and despicable case, quite frankly.
Belkowitz will be back in court next week for a preliminary hearing.
Tonight, trash titan Chuck Rizzo is in federal custody. The judge ordered him to turn himself in after violating his bond. Rizzo had been free on bond since pleading guilty to bribery and fraud back in November. That bond, though, was revoked after being accused of intimidating a key FBI witness at the MGM Grand Casino in December.
Tonight, the state attorney general is warning about a snow plowing company in Oakland County that's coming up short on its promise. Bill Schuete's office has sent a cease and desist letter to 5 Star Landscaping. The AG says the company is taking a payment but not doing the work and refusing refunds to customers. 12 customers have filed complaints since December.
Quit ripping people off. Just do the job that they're paying you for. You know, you drop off a flyer, make good on it. It's not that hard.
The attorney general is threatening a lawsuit if the company doesn't respond.
Michigan schools are counting on students to be in class tomorrow. It is count day, second one of the school year. Attendance will help determine the school district's budget.
Well, who wants to miss school on Valentine's Day? I mean, after the weekend we had, everybody's going to fall in love with your forecast, Ben.
Let's hope so. At least one part of it.
Okay.
Once temperatures get above freezing, they're going to stay there for about 48 hours straight. And what that means is a lot of this snow that we've got on the sides of the road are going to start melting in quickly, causing some issues, and we'll talk about that coming up. 20s, though, outside right now, 23 at Metro. The only spot in the teens is at Ann Arbor. And when we look at the satellite image, the clouds are moving out, and that usually means temperatures will drop even quicker. But we've got some warmer air moving in, so expect these numbers to actually rise a little bit as we head towards daybreak tomorrow. So we'll start out probably in the mid-20s in the morning, but if you're making plans for the evening, do expect some areas of drizzle by 8 and 10 o'clock. But fellas, you can't blame me as the excuse because this is not going to be significant. So plans still a green light as we head towards tomorrow night. We'll talk about those warmer temperatures coming up. Guys?
Major headaches coming on the highways this week as MDOT tries to make emergency road repairs. The roads are a mess, you know that. Patchwork will continue on the worst pavements along I-696, I-75, and US 24. That'll be during the morning and afternoon rush. And some of the work will include major lane closures. MDOT says they're trying to get as much done during the dry weather as they can.
Can't have water or snow in the area that we're working in because then it will not bind to the concrete that's already in place.
MDOT hopes the temporary repairs will last until major renovations can begin sometime this spring. Man. The Detroit Zoo is expanding to Macomb County.
The Detroit Zoological Society made the announcement of a new Great Lakes Nature Center. The center will focus on the water and wildlife of the Great Lakes, as well as conservation efforts of endangered species.
Many live animal exhibits and habitats, including a number of aquatic species, so there'll be quite a few freshwater aquariums in the Nature Center, but there will also be many other species, many of them rescued, many of them endangered.
Yeah, they're looking at a number of locations, and they will announce the location sometime a little later in the spring.
It's going to be great.
Very cool.
New tonight, apparently she's always on the job. An off-duty officer springs into action when a diner finds himself in a lot of trouble.
Also tonight, calling for high-speed help.
Have you tried the emergency brake?
Yeah, ma'am, I'm not pulling that at no 100 miles an hour, ma'am. I'm sorry.
A driver forced to call 911 when he can't slow down on the freeway.
But first, he's one of the few playing for every team in the Winter Olympics.
Really, we're there for the athletes regardless of what country they're from.
Why this local man's work could be worthy of a medal when we come back.
Our hearts and minds share a special connection. I'm Dr. Frank McGeorge. Tomorrow at 6 a.m., how taking care of one may end up helping both in the long run.
I'm Olympic gold.
Olympic athletes in Pyeongchang going for gold and, of course, representing their countries.
Right. This local doctor, though, isn't competing for medals, but perhaps he deserves gold considering his work. Steve Garagiola explains.
The two-time defending overall World Cup champion.
The Winter Games include high-speed, high-risk sports where athletes push beyond reasonable limits, which can lead to this.
Watch what happens here. She hooks up and takes a tough fall onto her left arm.
Among first responders on the ski hills and snowboard venues, you might see Dr. Jeffrey Kutcher, one of the top sports neurologists in the world.
Really, we're there for the athletes regardless of what country they're from, and we do whatever we can to help them.
His specialty is concussions, which have made sports headlines in recent years.
A lot of media coverage, a lot of political coverage, a lot of intrigue. Movies were made, really careers were made on an agenda that sports are hurting people.
A premise he rejects. As a former hockey player himself, Dr. Kutcher is a strong promoter of sports for children and adults, for the many benefits both physically and mentally. Of course, injury is always a risk, but he says concussions are very misunderstood.
If it's recognized early, if it's treated correctly, most often resolves in 7 to 10 days. That person goes back to their life the way they were, and they should not incur any difference in their future risk, or their brain's not changed forever.
But that's not always the case.
Post-concussion syndrome occurs, though, when the symptoms, whether they're headache, sleep issues, memory problems, outlive the injury itself.
Which is why, after 10 years at the University of Michigan, Dr. Kutcher founded the Sports Neurology Clinic in Brighton. His patients range from local high school athletes to former NFL and NHL players recovering from various brain injury and trauma. He says recent awareness has brought important changes in coaching techniques, rules, and restrictions at all levels of sports. But we need to do more.
And continuing to study the effects of playing sports on brain health can lead to even more changes, whether it is improving rules even further or equipment.
In his role at the Olympics, Dr. Kutcher carries the pressure of having the final word. If an athlete should suffer a head injury, he would be the one who might have to say your Olympic dream is over.
It's a tough position to be in, and as a physician that covers sports, you should not be in this position if you are in any way influenced by the stage where you are, by the sport itself. It's really health and safety first, foremost, and only.
He won't compete for any medals in Pyeongchang, but nobody on Team USA has a more important job. I'm Steve Garagiola, Local 4.
It really points out for me the big difference between the Summer Games and the Winter Games. All of these disciplines in the Winter Games just about are so dangerous.
You're right. All right. Well, Bernie will have highlights from tonight's competition coming up in sports.
Which
got
was
some good highlights.
Pretty good. Exactly right. I know you were watching earlier. In fact, Ben, you and I were talking.
We all were, yeah.
Fantastic what happened earlier tonight.
And we're looking a little bit less wintry here.
Spring is only 33 days away. Not that I'm counting.
Nobody's checking.
Wow. Can we get the hour count?
33 days. That actually feels better.
Yeah. You know what? We're getting a little bit of a sneak preview of that spring here in the next couple days. Beautiful shot downtown, 23 the temperature. We do have the wind chill that's matching now that the winds are very light, and will stay that way through the nighttime hours. And usually when we get clear skies, calm winds, that's a recipe to see these temperatures crater. But as we told you at the top of the show, we're going to see these numbers actually increase because the flow is out of the south, and so the air mass is starting to become warmer, and that's going to counteract any effects of what we would have from radiational cooling overnight. So we'll see these temperatures tick upwards just a little bit as we head towards daybreak tomorrow. A couple cool shots on storm pins. This one came into us from Romulus this afternoon. Beautiful shot of the sunset. And the other one I wanted to sneak in here, even though it's technically Ash Wednesday, these are punchkis that are filled with cannolis. We had the coney last night. This is the cannoli-filled punchki. So hope those went away nicely earlier, or yesterday, I should say, now that it's 12:03. Let's take a look at tomorrow as we see these clouds that are over top of us thinning out. We will be seeing those return. Couple shower chances. May see a sprinkle around in the evening hours tonight. Better chance, though, Thursday evening prior to this cold front. And if we see any snow at all, it is going to be on the backside of this front. We are going to see just the chance of a couple flakes as that skirts through on Friday. But it is not significant. Most of us won't see it. And the only thing we're going to see is a couple raindrops here on Thursday and Friday. So 42 is where we're going for high temperatures tomorrow afternoon, I should say. And the numbers won't be too varied across the area. Warmest spots will be down here at the south end, and it's only going to be a degree higher at 43. Coolest temperatures, west zone anywhere between 41 and 42. And it looks like we'll still get into the 40s here in our north zone, even in Sanilac County. Should top out at 40 degrees, which is above average for this time of year. And we start melting off that snow. So by Wednesday night, especially, and stretching through the day on Thursday, expect to see a good amount of fog as that snow melts. 23 will be our low temperature, but again, probably a little bit warmer as we start out tomorrow morning in the mid-20s, rising to the 42-degree mark there in the afternoon. Sunshine to start, and as we finish up, the clouds get a little bit thicker. 7-day forecast shows Thursday's actually going to be warmer, 48 degrees, but I think Wednesday's going to be the nicer day. We'll see more sunshine, won't have to contend with as much fog, and there's also going to be those shower chances on Thursday.
A little bit of melting finally here.
Finally, yeah.
All right, coming up, this is not something you want to see while flying. What happened on this United Airlines flight that forced an emergency landing?
And new video shows the dramatic response by police in a New York subway when a suicide bomber detonates his device.
New video shows the dramatic police response in the failed suicide bombing at a New York subway station last year. Video shows a sudden flash from a partially detonated pipe bomb that sent commuters running. You can see the injured suspect lying on the ground as police approach. Police realized he still had explosives on him, backed up. Police approached him a second time and arrested him. The suspect is facing multiple terrorism charges.
A driver going close to 100 miles an hour calls 911 after he realizes he can't slow down. The driver was on a highway in Florida when his SUV wouldn't stop, dodged several cars as he continued to accelerate. Dispatchers tried to help.
You have no idea why it could be stuck?
No, ma'am, I do not.
Are you able to get your vehicle in neutral?
No.
Police used stop sticks several times, but the car continued to run. Police finally used a pit maneuver to get the SUV to stop, and everyone is fine. Whew, yeah. Well, this is definitely not what you want to see if you're just sitting there looking out your airplane window. This United Airlines flight lost the cover to a jet engine while flying from San Francisco to Honolulu.
Yeah, can you imagine? The pilot declared an emergency and landed safely in Honolulu. Rescue crews and firefighters were standing by as a precaution. The Boeing 777 has two engines and can fly with only one for several hours. The FAA is looking into what went wrong. A New Hampshire woman who's suing the lottery after winning the Powerball jackpot will soon receive her millions while a judge decides if she can remain anonymous. The woman filed the suit last month demanding to withhold her identity after winning the $560 million jackpot. She said she made a huge mistake when she signed her name on the back of the winning ticket. An off-duty police officer springs into action to help a man who's choking.
Officer Snow of the White Lake Township Police was eating with her family when she noticed a customer started choking, and without any hesitation, she runs over and, as you can see here, performs the Heimlich maneuver and saved the man. On duty, off duty, didn't matter.